So you are in your power, okay? Don't put yourself on hold for anybody, especially someone who's acting like they don't care about you, okay? If this is truly someone you're meant to be with, you're meant to have a life with, a future with, they would have some sort of love, some sort of faith, some sort of connection to something really important deep inside them, and you would recognize that in them. They would have to be a good person deep down, and you would know. God wouldn't put somebody in your life who doesn't have the ability to believe in the light. You are being guided. I don't think that your person was a bad person. I think that they were just misguided. And they were not in their power, and they were in need of your assistance in some way, and that's why you crossed paths. They may have also helped you on your path in some way too, or helped you open up to like different ideas about things, certain things. And maybe they just didn't understand fully what you were supposed to be in their life, or what this connection was. And instead of, looking at what they did, or trying to understand it, just try to understand how they helped you grow, okay? And where your life has improved because of what you've been through, in a way. And I think they also try to do this, but instead they're like focusing on what they didn't do. And they keep wishing and hoping that the universe will bring you back together. And they're not actually taking like action. So don't keep wishing. Like this goes for both of you. Don't keep wishing and hoping. Just ask once and allow the universe to bring it to you. That's the thing. Because otherwise you're just stuck in the energy of not having it and the energy of hoping for it. You guys are both in the same energy. You guys, in the mutual energy, we have a difference in values. We have the silent treatment. We have both of you still holding on to each other's energy. We have both of you waiting for the other to come back and make things right. Especially the divine feminine. It feels like the divine feminine is expecting the masculine to come in and make things right. Even though you both keep looking back on this relationship and wanting closure, the problems haven't been addressed or dealt with. And so because they've just been swept under the rug, you're both looking for some sort of closure or answers. You guys could be the same age because the same age card came out. This person's had trouble in the past being stable, and they were not very happy, but you light up their life, and they want you to know they can be stable with the right person. That being you, I guess. You're both looking back on this relationship and wanting closure. You're both missing each other so greatly, and you would both prefer to have some sort of communication from the other rather than being on the outs, rather than not communicating at all. And I think that the masculine in particular is being blinded by the obstacles, whereas the feminine is a little more willing to work on things that are holding you guys back. But I think the feminine saw how this was going from the beginning and maybe held back in ways they knew would not benefit masculine. The feminine might have moved in certain ways because they expected struggles, or they saw difficulty in the masculine energy, or maybe they saw the signs and they were avoiding going down that path with this masculine. On the other hand, the masculine also pretended that the feminine wasn't a big deal in their life, while they were constantly being reminded by the universe how big a fucking deal this person was, how much they were supposed to mean in their life. Every time they tried to disregard your strength over them, they were met with like an, oh yeah, well, look what else she can do. And this almost drove them insane. They asked for the signs from the universe and they got them, and they ignored them, okay? Now, you seem to be getting your wishes fulfilled. And it's not in ways that is meant to rub it in masculine's face. It's in ways that are because of what's happened with masculine, okay? So this journey has led you somewhere you're meant to be. Maybe you didn't recognize that before. So they're gaining the strength. You're gaining the strength. You've both been through a lot in the love department, and unfortunately, this person has been through a history of toxic relationships, and I think that they were shown the right path to go. They were led in the right direction, and then they decided to go another way intentionally. Not necessarily the wrong way, but a more difficult, longer, a more lonely path. A more darker path. And unfortunately, that's been the history with this person. They did to you what someone else did to them. And they didn't really know any better. They didn't really know another way. I think that you actually showed them another way, but they chose to ignore it. What can we say? This person knows you have a lot of eyes on you. And they don't know how they ever got you to look in their direction. I just saw the unicorn card flip through. They see you together. You are my best friend. And we have retired. So I don't know if this person is already retired in life, or you have an, I was gonna say an older, younger thing, but this says same age, so cancel that. Leave your usual social circles behind. Seek out true companions. So maybe it's time to branch out. Maybe it's time to extend your friend circle. Maybe it's time to find something that interests you, and then go find other like-minded people who you can do those things with. So we have you are my best friend, and we have seek out true companions. Something is leading me to believe that this was a friends first type of relationship where things changed and they started to feel differently. They started to see you guys together. You could have even grown up together. You could have been a very important person in this person's life. You know, a rock, a stability, somebody they could lean on. And they're not telling you how much you mean to them, how much your friendship has grown inside their heart, okay? They want to cross this bridge of happiness because it leads over the depths of your emotions, and it leads to growth and a beautiful happy ending. But I think this person ultimately is still interested in building that fucking bridge back to you, okay? And they haven't yet, you know, pulled out the supplies and gathered the tools to do that. I don't think they've even decided yet whether they want a bridge. You know, maybe they'll jump in a boat and paddle over that water, over that emotion. You know, what it all comes down to is toxic relationships and weighing whether or not there is room to grow in that relationship into something healthy. And missing someone is no excuse to re-enter a toxic situation or continue a toxic cycle. So I say let it fucking go, okay? If this is something that cannot be worked on, nobody's building bridges, nobody's taking steps, nobody's advancing this into something that is worth keeping or worth even giving your time and energy to, I say let it go. And I think that is what the feminine is doing, but is still holding on to the past of things, still wanting closure, still looking back. Stop looking back. Move on with your life. It's the only way, okay? It's the only way to move on, to learn, to grow from situations, is to continue to take one step in front of the other and move the fuck on. And don't look back, okay? Looking back is not gonna help anything. Looking back is only gonna put you back in a state of mindfuck, okay? Stop fucking your own emotions over by looking back. Keep moving forward. Keep your eyes on the prize. If you don't have a fucking prize, make a goal. Set yourself a prize and move towards it. It's the only way, you guys. Maybe even stop watching this shit. I know I've stopped watching a lot of people's tarot, but it's hard. It's definitely hard. Stop looking back.